Welcome to Heroes and Droids, your guide to movies and TV shows about superheroes, sci-fi, Disney, and action. From Marvel to DC, from Star Wars to Star Trek, from James Bond to the Fast and the Furious. We review the theatrical films and streaming delights you care about most. This week we have a double feature reviewing What If Episode 8, What If Ultron 1, and What If Episode 9, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. It isn't officially a two-parter, but it is certainly a two-parter. Because they don't put part 1 and part 2 on it, but it's definitely what it is. All right, I am your host, Doc Rotten, and joining me tonight are my co-hosts, starting off with Chris Slattery. He's the Slattman. How you doing, sir?
I have a lot of what-if questions to ask you today.
What if? What if? All right, also joining us is award-winning filmmaker, Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
Viva Las Vegas, baby. Viva Las Vegas.
Very nice.
That might be the best episode this whole season.
you know, there's two really great episodes this season, and that's one of them for certain. Let's find out where 8 and 9 sit. All right. What we're going to do is give our first impression of the episodes together, and then we're going to jump into a discussion. The first impressions will be spoiler free. During the discussion, we'll get into spoilers, including Christopher's Easter eggs and all the little fun things that you find about the MCU hidden in the 2 episodes. And then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. And of course, before we do, if you're watching this review, we hope you enjoy it and many others we have on the site. And if you want to help us out, it's easy and free to do. Hit the subscribe button down below, share with a friend, hit the like button. All that does wonders. And of course, above all, we want to hear your comments down below. What shows, in this case, are we going to be covering? We're covering season 1, episode 8 and 9 of What If, streaming on Disney. What If Ultron 1 and What If the Watcher Broke His Oath. I keep wanting to say broke his foot. I don't know why, but what if because that would be a really weird episode. Not going to go through all the cast and everything so we can get to the discussion, but the synopsis, 2 parts shoved together here. What Natasha Romanoff and Clint Barton seek to destroy the killer robot Ultron following a cataclysmic event, which leads to the Watcher gathering heroes across the multiverse for one final battle against the Infinity Ultron. There he is, pictured in all his glory, which is kind of the Vision in Ultron. I don't know. We'll get into all that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let's find out what our initial thoughts were on this. Starting off with Slattman, sir, let us have it.
I'm glad we are talking about these together because I feel like I would have been far more negative if we had talked about them individually, because I do feel like this is like one story that probably should have been condensed to about 45 minutes as opposed to 2 half-hour episodes. We were talking pre-show and kind of spoilers. We were talking about the first episode and just kind of how pointless it felt, and how, you know, it felt, and in my opinion, it felt kind of like a giant Dragon Ball Z episode for the whole thing.
It's interesting.
And it's just like, it didn't need to be like that. They could have, it could have been half as long and it would have been fine. For me, I didn't really, I don't know. I was bored a lot of episode 8, but episode 9 really made it pay off. It made everything that we've seen throughout, almost everything we've seen throughout this season pay off in some way, shape, or form. And it was fun. And I enjoyed seeing how it's set up what is obviously going to be something that gets brought back into the Doctor Strange movie. So
yeah, that will be interesting to see how that,
or Spider-Man. It might be in Spider-Man.
Yeah, let's be interesting. Christopher G. Moore, sir, what is your first impression of these 2 episodes?
I had similar issues. I mean, I think we've talked about like some of these episodes. We talked about how fast they tell the story, and I think this is one of the instances where I wish they had. I wish that they just folded episode 8 into episode 9, made that like the first part of it, the first like maybe third of it or whatever, or not, just reduce it down because I mean, I think that episode 8, it just, I don't know, it just it kind of falls flat because it's more about, without being spoilery, it's more about a very powerful character, like extremely powerful character that nobody can really do anything with, and it's like it's kind of, it's just boring to me. I think the more fun aspects of it go into episode 9, where we have like the sort of like the big team up thing that we've been talking about all this time. And that's much more interesting and fun, especially when it ties into all the previous episodes we've seen this whole season. So yeah, I thoroughly did not like episode 8. I mean, it had its moments, but for me, it just irritated me because I think you always find that in a lot of the MCU projects where it's always about this sort of crazy powerful character or whatever, and you wonder like, well, what can you fight? And I think at least with episode 9 we have sort of like, okay, we have all these different ways we can fight against this. So yeah, I think episode 8, I mean, knowing what I've heard about characters that show up in episode 9 that should have been in the extra episode we would have gotten this season, I would have been more interested in seeing that that episode than what happens in episode 8, which again, it's just one of these things. It's like, it's just a waste of an episode. They could have easily folded it into episode 9 and made that one single episode, because I didn't really have any interest in like that being like this long episode where we just see different places blow up for half of it. So, but yeah, that's my first impression on both of those.
Yeah, so my first impression is far more sour. I did not like these. I did not like them. You are absolutely right on 8. It's all set up and it's very boring, and there's the conflict isn't engaging, right? It's just this is just setting up, to be for the 9th. I mean, that's all it really is. And then for episode 9, I just didn't enjoy this group of people together. I didn't feel like it worked. I didn't feel like those would, even though, I mean, they're the choices because we watched them this season, but would they be the choices? I don't think so. And many characters kind of got shafted in it. There wasn't interesting interactions we did with the character, or not enough. There was a couple, but I didn't care for some of the major relationship that we get, which is I want to say Captain Britain, but it's not. What is it? It's Captain Carter. Captain Carter and the Black Widow. It felt false, and the whole "you're not my Black Widow" thing. There was small spoilers in there, but you won't know them without seeing them. It fell flat. This is that. I think there's worst episode this season, but I think this is down at the bottom. This is a terrible way to end this season, and makes me kind of be over it. I hate saying that, but I think I might be like, maybe we shouldn't do a season 2.
Well, I can kind of agree with you, because my problem is that they took the concept of the What If comics, which is amazing, there's some duds there. There's always duds in comic runs. You can't be great for 900 issues straight. But the thing is that they took the concept of it and they just kind of made it boring for 2/3 of the episodes, as opposed to really showing their creativity. And I don't know if that's maybe like constraints that the creative team was given, like said, no, you have to base it around MCU movies, like they have to be like the MCU versions of these characters. Like, I don't know if they were given those constraints or if they just weren't allowed to use specific like or if they just aren't as creative as the writers of the What If comics.
I don't know. I just don't think we needed a Guardians of the Multiverse. I mean, I just thought that was too much and too. It just didn't appeal to me at all.
Well, I'm totally opposite. I loved the episode. I think the pairing up of all these different characters, I thought they had chemistry. I was more interested in those type of characters. I think the only thing that felt a little bit out of sorts is because we, of course, I guess we're already in spoiler.
Yes, we're in spoilers.
Gamora and you know, we never really got to see her multiverse type character. But again, supposedly that was one of the episodes they cut. But I don't know. I loved it because I think for me it was much more interesting, you know, because there's supposed to be this sort of group of. It's not supposed to be like the Avengers, the real Avengers. It's supposed to be a bunch of misfit type people that make mistakes and do all these things so it plays out the way the watcher wants. So to me, that's kind of interesting. And I think how they're all trying to fight and do things, I love that. I love the back and forth. I love some of the imagery and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I love Captain Carter. I think my only issue is like they got Ross Marquand to be like great value James Spader. And he's just not James Spader.
No, he's not. Nobody is. Nobody's James Spader. I just thought the whole ending with the crystal and the putting in the eye the crystal that between. I just thought it was so trite and so predictable and so done already. Being betrayed by Killmonger once again. It's just come on. It just lacked originality. I was aside from a couple of interesting moments, I was like, I wasn't interested in this at all. I just thought it was like, I'd rather have more just real stories, not some excuse to bring a group of people together. That wasn't, I don't need Guardians of the Multiverse. I want the individual stories of those people. And it just didn't work. Didn't care.
It worked for me. So I enjoyed it. Every time that they would do something, especially when they made the zombies come through that portal and stuff, things like that. I really enjoyed how they're just manipulating the, things from the episodes and stuff to sort of fight against it. But I don't know. I totally
kind of
disagree.
I kind of did, but every time I would get something I liked, then it didn't pay off. Like we get the Scarlet Witch zombie show up, and whatever happens really off screen, and then boom, he shut. Just like, there's this relationship between these two characters that we barely get a time to really understand, and between Black Widow and Captain Carter, it just doesn't play. I don't know.
It played to me. I would have loved to see more with those characters, to be honest. So
I am smack dab in the between you two,
like
literally in the right here. And in this in this frame and in your opinions, there were things that I agree with both of you on a lot of things and disagree with both of you on a lot of things as well. And I feel like that's where most people fall as well.
Yeah, and I mean, but at the same time, I thoroughly hated episode 8. I mean, there was moments of like, what? Because I'm like, I guess my biggest issue is like, if Vision had the ability to split Thanos in half, why did he have that specific ability? In the movies, to me, that just like showed him so overtly powerful.
It wasn't Vision; it was Ultron. It was entirely. I mean, it's in Vision's body, but you got the Ultron character in Vision's body.
Still, he used his Mind Stone, which Vision, I mean, so to me, that kind of like, at first, like, I was like, whoa, he just split Thanos in half, and they showed this in an animated show on Disney Plus. And then secondly, I was like, wait a minute.
Yep.
If he could have been that powerful using the Mind Stone.
But Vision wouldn't think of that. Ultron would. I didn't have a problem with that. And I didn't have a problem with like that some people have talked about like Thanos would have stopped it, but Thanos even said in the movies, right? He said you should have went for the head. Ultron Ultron Vision goes for not only the head, he just goes for the whole damn thing.
Well, there's also the question of how did he get the Soul Stone if Gamora is still alive? So,
but was she? We never saw the Gamora of that universe, so we don't know.
Yeah, we did because when he destroyed the one planet, she's fighting with Peter Quill.
Is she?
So she was alive.
Did I see that?
She's one of the planets that's one of the planets that he destroys.
But is that
It's the same place in Guardians when they're fighting the big monster.
Oh, how did Ultron? Not Ultron, but Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know. But we don't know that which Thanos. I don't have a problem.
Thanos is of that universe, so
yeah, but we don't know which Thanos shows up, right?
No, but that's the Thanos from that universe.
Or what circumstances he went to get it. It could be
one of the things that they really kind of made very clear is that things don't work the same. Things work the same, but not exactly the same in each universe. So. Or in each universe, so it could be that to get the Soul Stone, you have to do something slightly different than what you had to in the normal MCU universe. Like maybe he had to sack one of his followers, or
maybe in this universe it was the other
Nebula.
Nebula, that's the one that he has to toss off. I think that's too in the weeds. So.
Well, that's everybody's pissed off about. So.
Yeah, well, let him go get pissed off. Why don't Loki just show up and zip him off to Kang Land, and he can't? The stones don't mean shit. So,
or do that, what? But that doesn't mean
we win.
Evidently, do miss shit because they're able. I mean, there's a lot of questions about because how is he able to use the stones in other universes if they don't work?
Yeah. Well, we don't.
If Ultron can use stones in other universes, how does that work? See what I mean? Because if they're useless in other universes, then Ultron wouldn't be able to use those stones.
But I didn't think that's how it worked. Why do you think that?
Because that's how it worked in Loki.
That's how they said it in Loki.
But not other universes.
They don't work outside your universe.
Oh, I thought it was only they don't work inside whatever this pocket universe that Kang had built for the. I totally got a different vibe off of that. I'll have to go back and watch that. I didn't think it was other universes. I thought it was in that wherever they were.
No, I think they kind of explain it. That supposedly, yeah. I mean, I guess that's the thing. There's a lot of logic issues that kind of fall apart in this what if universe.
Yeah,
to me, it makes you kind of question.
It's a huge misstep. It just
because you have the time stone used against the time stone in the episode 9.
More reasons for me to dislike this whole thing. Those things even didn't bother me. To me, it was just like, what a lame fucking story. Sorry.
Disney bleep.
I know. It was just like, oh, come on. Be more interesting and original than this. This is.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was interesting and original in the way they fought, and it wasn't like your normal way that you're fighting against something to where you just don't. The only way that you can stop it is to sort of have these characters fight against each other or whatever. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I mean, I enjoyed it. I was definitely more into enjoying the episode 9 than episode 8, which was it was a slog because I just
my favorite scene is actually in 8.
Oh,
but it's only one scene. It's only one scene.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the actual story. It's just a bit of comedy I like. So
I really enjoyed the inclusion of Zola again.
That was a winning thing, especially because he was the face in the stomach, well, whatever that joke was. Yes, the man in the stomach. Oh god, yeah. This is hilarious. Yeah, because I don't know if you've ever seen. If they someday we need 3 things out of the Marvel universe. We need Fin Fan Foom, right, with his purple pajamas. We need Modok. If you've seen Modok, we need Modok. I know we have the cartoon, but we need Modok in the MCU, and we need Arnim Zola that looks like straight out of the comics, which is hilarious. I don't care if you put all 3 things in a Howard the Duck series. We got to do it. Do something.
All 3 would probably fit in Howard the Duck too.
I think that's the only way you're going to do it.
Well, I mean, if they ever do Hulk, Fing Fang
Hey,
Foom could be in that.
I could do that. Yeah.
I'd
Or
love to.
give Jeff Goldblum his own series, and he could go find them all. So
Oh my god.
that'd be awesome. This
We're gonna go scoot scoot.
yes, woof woof. What if I don't know how what if became woof woof. What if needs more Jeff Goldblum in it? I'm just gonna leave it at that.
When he's not being blown apart.
Yes, exactly. He's not being blown apart.
Like in episode 8.
Yes, we need
the rest of the universe.
You need more of him, and especially when he's DJing. Yes. Oh my God, that'd be. Can you imagine him and Howard the Duck on a road trip? That'd be the most amazing thing.
See, that's the creativity I feel like What If is missing.
Well,
Guardians
I mean,
of the
this whole thing about breaking the oath and stuff is an actual episode from What If. So I guess they're where he creates the Guardians or whatever. But I almost feel like you don't necessarily have to have every episode connecting either.
Yeah,
with this series.
Now that you've said that, go ahead.
I would have liked it better if they did 9 episodes that were all original that had no connection whatsoever, and they connected it in like Doctor Strange somehow, like the movie.
Some other way.
Yeah, like I would have liked it a lot better if they didn't connect this series at all.
I don't think it needed to. I don't think that served any purpose. So going back to the Watcher, his whole breaking the oath would have been so much better served as a reserved story for a Fantastic Four movie, because that's where it had more meaning and had more reason to happen in a very specific storyline kind of way, as opposed to this, this over the top way that this did. It would have been quite spectacular if it was put into that, and a little bit more meaning, a little bit more feeling, something that could actually relate to the characters that are themselves, as opposed to I'm going to have a team go together and then I'm going to wait until the moment to pop in and hate this song.
Also, another way that they could have used it better is the trump card that they needed to beat Kang at the end of this phase,
yeah, I mean,
that would have made so much more sense.
Yeah, if use it against Kang instead of Galactus in the comics. Yeah, that would work. Maybe they still will. Maybe
Can he break the oath twice?
No, he can't. Well, I mean, can he break the oath twice? Yes, once animated and once in the live action. Yes, he can do that.
But it's okay. They're two different universe Watchers.
Yes, it's a different Watcher. I don't know who that Watcher is. He says.
Do you think that we're actually going to see a live action Watcher now?
I hope so.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, we're going to see a live action Captain Carter.
I hope we do that too. That character really works.
She supposedly is going to show up in Doctor Strange movie. So
that'll be cool.
I so groaned.
That's the
I so groaned.
The rumor. So
because I totally missed the stinger. Okay, everybody, there's a stinger in mid credits, and I totally missed it. Christopher said, "Oh no, there's a stinger in the middle." I ran, go back downstairs, and I turned the stinger on, and I went, "Oh, fuck that stinger."
Yeah, I was kind of let down too.
You didn't like the stinger?
I despised.
Wow, man, you're just Mr. Grumpy Pants.
I was like,
I was also let down by the stinger.
I don't know. I liked it because I think it'd be nice. It'd be kind of cool to see we finally get to see Steve Rogers' possible Hydra character.
Wouldn't it have been better in a Captain Carter series though, instead of a stinger at the end of What If?
I don't know. It was just pointless and stupid. It was pointless.
It makes me interested to what they can probably do with next season, because supposedly Captain Carter might be part of next season.
So are you telling me that she's gonna become a universe hopping mad lad that will go and save other universes.
Yeah, it'd
On
be
the
like
and the
the
Watcher's gonna get like slide notes to her under the table and be like, "Go save this universe."
she'll
Oh my
be like the
God.
Doctor Who of the MCU.
Oh, I was thinking like MI's
Dr.
Mission
MCU.
Impossible, like if this mission, if you were to accept it, whatever the hell that is. Dun,
This
dun,
tape
dun,
will
dun,
this
dun, dun.
tape will explode in 60 seconds.
Oh, okay. Let's wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts. Our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Slatman, you are up first.
So are we scoring each episode individually, or we're scoring the two as a whole?
What do you want to do? You want to do them individually? Let's do them individually because I think they're so diverse.
Okay. So my scores are a 2 for the first for episode 8. I did not like it. I thought the saving grace is that during the fight scene, the animation was very, very well done.
The fight scene, there's a couple of them. So you mean between
the Watcher, or yes, fight scene, yes, all of them.
Okay.
I liked and anytime that there's a fight scene, they have a very good way of framing fight scenes and animating it so it's very easy to follow. And that's, in my opinion, the saving grace of episode 8 is that it's a lot of fighting, and when there is fighting, it really looks beautiful at times. And the voice cast is also nice, and Zola is,
Toby Jones to the rescue.
I love Zola. I wish there was more Zola in the MCU. He's such a great character. And then for episode 9, I'm gonna give it more of a 3.5.
Fair.
I think it's a little bit above average. I think it's sets up something very interesting for later down the road. I think it has a lot of hiccups, but it also has a lot that is very enjoyable in it. I think some of the banter that you get between the characters from the different universes works well. I liked it when T'Challa and Killmonger were talking to each other, and it's like, cousin, why? And it's like, I'm not your cousin. It's just like that. Like, I felt like that was a good interaction between the two. Party Thor is always great. I have some issues with how powerful that Doctor Strange is. I know in his story it's explained why he's so powerful, but it's just, I don't know. It kind of goes along the lines of episode 8 that Christopher was talking about earlier, where there's, an immovable wall and a giant boulder, like you just it's just kind of boring to see two things that are so powerful going against each other sometimes, because it didn't feel like there was much stakes. But yeah, it ended fine outside of the stinger, and the fight scenes were really cool. My favorite scene is probably any scene with Zola in it.
There you go.
I especially liked when they shot the legs off of the Zola Ultron bot, and they were and he was like, "Why'd you do that?" It's like, we don't completely trust you.
Didn't you say that's fair or something like that?
Yeah. I really liked that. So
very good. All right, Christopher G. Moore, you're up next. Final thoughts, scores, and favorite scene.
And with each thing, I'll go through it quickly and some.
Oh yes, we
Easter
totally
eggs.
got all crazy about it.
With episode 8, I didn't like it. It should have been squeezed into episode 9. But a few of the Easter eggs, if you notice, Clint Barton, his arm is a sentry arm, so they actually had to repurpose one of the sentries to create his arm. The cloak, the cloak that Clint uses, that's sort of like, is the same mesh fabric that Black Widow and Melina and Sharon Carter used, to hide themselves. Iron Man, when he's defeated by Ultron, he's defeated in the Nexus Internet Hub, which is the same place that Iron Man was able to track Ultron in the movies. Of course, we get the sort of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, the Lost Ark joke, but actually that shot is shot similar to the Lost Ark scene at the very end of Indiana Jones and
Nice, yeah.
The first Indiana Jones film. Of course, we also get a nice Star Wars joke where he talks about the Death Star plans are not in the computer. We actually get to see, even though we didn't see it in the Black Widow film, we did get to see the Red Guardian shield, which she uses. Actually, the YouTube channel New Rockstars, they actually the files that are written in Cyrillic, they actually translated those, and they're actually names of some of the artists on the show, such as Paul Lassane, who's a production designer, among other names. The Siberian Hydra base that they go to, which they meet up with, they find Zola, is the same thing from Civil War. And if you notice, those tanks are empty. The Winter Soldier assassin tanks are empty, so they must have let those go to sort of fight against the sentries and stuff. The Zola AI, when he greets them, is the same type of greeting they uses back in Camp Lehigh, back in with Captain America. The USB arrow was first used in the first Avengers film. Of course, we get to see the famous Black Widow pose that she gets made fun of in the Black Widow film. And actually, one of my, it's not fully confirmed, but if you notice the part where Ultron is going through the different universes with the Uatu, whatever, the Watcher, there's one planet that's like a lava planet with a huge fortress up top that looks similar to Vader's fortress on Mustafar. Are we saying that there's a crossover in the Star Wars universe? And also, if you noticed, when they towards the end, when they land, I think it's New York City or someplace, you get to see Steve Rogers is being sworn in as the U.S. president. On the big screen. Episode 9, Captain Carter wears the blue and white stealth suit that's similar to Captain America's, but with the Union Jack on it. She also, when she jumps out of the plane, she jumps out. It's shot for shot the same as Captain America does when he jumps out of the plane. We get a lot of major musical themes throughout this episode. It's episode 9. We get Steve's theme, we get the Guardians theme, we get Killmonger's theme, we get Doctor Strange's theme, and even the Avengers theme throughout, which is kind of cool. There's a part where Ego says it'll be all over in 1,000 years, which actually is a callback to Guardians 2, when he's tells Peter Quill, it's like, you'll have to learn by spending the next 1,000 years as a battery. So actually, he was turning him into a battery in that one scene. Gamora has Thanos' double-bladed sword. And also Stark has a Hulkbuster armor with Sakaar to core on it, which supposedly there was an episode that dealt with Gamora and Iron Man or whatever, but so that maybe he was using the Hulkbuster. Maybe he went to Sakaar instead of the Hulk in an episode, and maybe he was fighting, in the arena instead of the Hulk. When Thor's picked up like an action figure, he screams, and then we go to his scream inside like the fake bar or whatever. It's actually a callback to Ragnarok when he's on that little ride thing and he's screaming, and then he's in the middle of the lobby with
yes, oh my god.
So it's a callback to that shot. When Doctor Strange is explaining the stones, he's basically explaining it the same way that Wong does in the Infinity War. If you notice the spell armor, when Doctor Strange puts spell armor on the different characters, there's a winged crown for Thor. Killmonger, Gamora, they have like shoulder armor. T'Challa actually has a crown as well as an extra layer with his necklaces, calling out that he is the true king of Wakanda. the rightful king, and then Peggy actually has medieval armor, which calls back to her, being coming from the UK. There's one part where Thor jumps backwards into the portal, which is similar to when Peter Quill does it, Infinity War, or one of the movies. And then you mentioned it previously, but Zola, we finally get to see Zola in android form, straight from the comics. But if you remember, they actually teased it as an Easter egg in the Captain America film when they show like these designs of what Zola would look like in stomach form. So anyway, those are all the different Easter eggs. If I were to give a rating for each of the episodes, I enjoyed episode 9 a lot, much more than episode 8, which I didn't enjoy a lot. But there are some really cool visual things in episode 8 that I'll give it some props for. So I'll probably give it a similar rating of 2 for episode 8. Episode 9, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed that. Nice. It's not the best episode ever, but I still enjoyed the team up. I enjoyed some of the shots and stuff. That there's some really cool shots, just visually. I love it when the portal with all the zombies coming out. There's a shot where I love how they sort of blend like comic book form into some of the scenes. So when Doctor Strange is showing all the different forms, it's like splitting, almost like, just a lot, like a lot of those, the artwork of some of those scenes were drawn. As for favorite, do I pick up a favorite scene between the two? Is that what we're doing?
I think we did. Yeah.
Okay. But I will say, just to give episode 8 a little bit of love, I'll say my favorite scene from episode 8 is a scene where Clint, he lets go and he's going down, and there's this beautiful shot where the camera moves a little bit and you see all these sentries down here and he's going down. So that's my favorite scene from episode 8. But episode 9, I don't know. I do love the shot of the pile of zombies just pouring out like liquid. I just love that. I mean, and you even get the shot, like the straight on shot when they're coming through, and you see like Captain America and Falcon. You see like 3 of those like coming towards them, and then just how it ends with what's her name?
Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch. Yeah. But I don't know. I just love. I don't know. We always see like zombie type stuff, but just see like just it's almost like you're pouring out you're pouring some water or something. It's just all zombies just pouring down. I just love that shot. It's such a cool freaking shot. So that's probably my favorite scene, because as someone that really loved the zombie episode and wish we had more of that in the MCU.
Yeah. Okay, I won't go too much into. I think you all got the point. My scores for these, I think a 2 is fair for the first one, because there are things that are in it that on a technical side or character side are worth it. And my favorite scene is going to be from 8, and it's just a comedy bit. 9 has a little bit more going for it, but I still didn't quite like it because I just wasn't invested in the story. So 3, I think a 3. Is that what you gave it, Chris Slattman?
I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, okay. So I'm a little less than you. So yeah, together they're 2.5, I guess, if you average. I don't know. I just thought it was just falling. Yeah, to me, it's like, I almost hate saying this, but to me, this was an example of what people are complaining about with the Marvel formula, right? Leading up to this big gathering and forming of a team, which is a formula I enjoy. I just didn't think it worked in this case. Just didn't care for it. My favorite scene is going to be from episode 8, and it was when shortly after the scene you talked about, when the shot going down and they're looking for basically the I don't even know what I'm saying, because what are they actually looking for when they go into the big warehouse and stuff? But anyway, they're in there looking for it, and they're like 1 box away, right? 1 box away, and the Watcher's watching, And the Watcher goes, "It's right there! It's right there! Stop what you're doing and look! It's right there!" And his whole reaction and his whole, the urgency and the comedy, the vocal expression, everything was just totally. I was dying. I thought that was so funny. It was just like, man, if I could only break this oath, and he could just nudge the box out, and but it works out. You should have faith. You should just have faith. It's going to work. It's just not going to work right now. A couple seconds.
Oh yeah, although I feel like Black Widow should have put 2 and 2 together about Zola, without having to go to a file. But yeah, I did find that kind of funny how you have that comedy of the Watcher like,
yeah, who knew he was a comedian? That's funny. It was funny. Jeffrey Wright does a great job what a great voice.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for something, and now I just see him as the Watcher. So
that's hilarious.
That was the new Wes Anderson film. You hear him talking, I was like, is the Watcher in this new Wes Anderson film?
For I am the Watcher. All right. Well, there you go. There's our review for What If episode 8 and 9. I will temper my anger and say, okay, I will look forward to a season 2. I will look forward to a season 2. I will look forward to a season 2.
Well, just better news, there's going to be an Agatha Harkness show. So
yes.
You should feel good about that, right?
That is incredible. I figured they would use her again, but I did not foresee them giving her own show. And
if you've seen the Marvel campus stuff, the Avengers campus stuff in California, the woman who's doing Agatha Harkness is perfect. I don't know if you guys have seen videos of it, but it's even funnier because now she has a Sparky Tombstone. Because she comes out and then she cracks on people that are dressed as characters, because there's usually people that come out. I mean, my favorite thing, there was this woman's husband that dressed up as in a dog suit and had a Sparky name tag. But it's really funny how she cracks. Either she compliments people if they're dressed like her, or she cracks on people that are the characters from that universe and stuff. But it's the girl that does that does a perfect impersonation of her, to where it's like, nice. She seems to be the most fun thing in that. Because I think Ordinary Adventures, they talked about, she's like the best Marvel character they have, people coming out that, so I can understand that she's such a loved character. We definitely want to see more of her, and to see a whole series. I don't know what they can do with that, but that makes me very excited.
Yeah.
If it's Catherine Hahn with Wanda's kids starting the Young Avengers.
Well, she's gonna
not be wrong there.
She's gonna be in the Doctor Strange movie, supposedly. So.
Yeah, even though she says she hasn't gotten the call. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Right. Well, you got
that call. You got that call.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the call. Wink.
I mean, they're even the whole Spider-Man thing where they asked what's his name from the last Spider-Man film, and they supposedly went through and used special effects to make it seem like, oh, that was a fake scene that somebody put online. But it's not. They're trying to fake us out.
Oh, it's these are the worst kept secrets ever. But other thing was there's what is it, the Australian or some Spain, one of the other Disney Twitter accounts revealed that Blade is supposed to come in October of 2022, but then it got wished away just like everything else that flops out like that by accident. So,
yeah, I guess we'll see. Although I'm worried about that.
That would be a good October 2022 release.
It would be if they could get it out there in time. And I think they want to. Everybody's on board for it, as far as the director and the actors and stuff.
I don't know. A bloodless Blade film does not work for me.
It not in the same tone, but if they approach it differently, and I hope they do, because I don't want a carbon copy of that. Yeah.
True, but
that's one thing that worries me about. As much as I'm looking forward to the Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange movies, is when is it going to be novelty and when is it going to be, redundant? When is it going to wear off? Is it that can it sustain itself through two of these movies and DC doing it with Flash as well? I don't know.
Oh, it'll work for Spider-Man.
Spider-Man it's going to work because they're being very focused on those characters, but I feel like Doctor Strange is kind of going bigger. And then if you look at the Flash stuff, it's going even bigger with it. The only thing that's going to save Flash is Michael Keaton. Because seeing Michael Keaton again as Batman, especially an aged Batman whose mentoring is going to be the best.
Well, it's not directed by a certain person.
Well, that's true.
And
you saw the that Ben Affleck said that it was so much more fun to be Batman on this one than there was in the Snyder.
Well, there was a lot of drama around the last.
Well, yeah, but he said it was just so that gives me hope because I think maybe I'm one of the few that I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman. I like his, it's an older Batman, but I like it.
I really enjoy him as Bruce Wayne.
I never. To me, he's like when they put other Batmans in the after Michael Keaton. It just
is he your Val Kilmer? Is he Val Kilmer, or is he as bad as George Clooney?
I think he's like George Clooney.
Oh no!
It feels like a poser to me. It feels off. I guess that's why I don't think it's horrible. It just feels off. You know what I mean? To me,
can you attribute that to the filmmaker?
Ben Affleck is not a very strong actor. I'll say this right here.
That is why I asked if you can attribute that to the film.
Ben Affleck is Academy Award nominated actor. What are you talking about?
When he's playing himself.
When he's playing himself,
when he's playing a version of himself.
I don't think so, sir.
I don't know.
You just want to be. You're jealous. You're jealous because you don't have Jennifer. You want a J-Lo in your life.
And
I don't care. No, he did date Anna. What's her name from Knives Out?
Oh, that's true. Well, who hasn't he dated? I think he.
That I'm more jealous about.
There you go.
I don't care about J-Lo.
You don't care about J-Lo? Oh, you hurt me.
Oh, I mean, no, I'm not
faulting
your life.
Gone off the rails.
We have. We're debating.
We turned it to DMZ. We need to go back to the MCU.
Oh man, it makes me wonder if we should be doing a new show. All right, guys.
I don't know.
Oh, there's a lot of news coming out now that between Shang-Chi doing great and now Venom, being the number one, making $90 million in this day and age, which is better than the first one, and it's only second to the Joker for being the best September take, right? Or October take.
Well, even the first day of the new Bond film was doing better than the last one. So
yeah. So anyway, superheroes are still it and may be
they're not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, they're not going away anytime soon. And next year is going to be insane with the amount of stuff. So anyway, we've thanks for hanging out for What If, and What If we actually covered everything in 5 minutes.
What are we talking about?
Thank
you. Like what the hell?
Yeah. What the Slattman, we already did 2. We might as well go for it. Now we've already passed our 1 for PG-13. Slattman, Christopher G. Moore, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Let's say good night.
Good night.
Good night.